As local gyms and small businesses start to accept Bitcoin, we hear Mark Zuckerberg is considering cryptocurrencies as part of their services in their company too. But this isn't just Facebook, it's also people and companies like Peter Thiel, Chamath Palihapitiya, Google, Overstock, George Soros, and many, many others who are going full throttle into Bitcoin and blockchain technology. Is there something there that business and technology leaders know about our future? Why are they getting into crypto so big, so fast, and so much? What's going on? Let's discuss. Hello everybody, I'm Gary Palmer Jr., you're you, and together we are Minting Coins, your trusted source for crypto news, interviews, and ICO reviews. If you're new or not, tap that like button, subscribe to show your support. It helps other people find this content, and it encourages us too. Also, leave your questions and comments as you have them in the comments box below so your voice is heard as part of the community. In this show, we're going to be talking about business leaders, technology leaders, what they're saying, what they're doing, and how this could affect the entire cryptocurrency universe, as well as the universe that we all just happen to live in as well. So with that being said, let's dive right in, take a look at what's going on, going around, and let's discuss. In the news today, we are seeing what's happening in the world of crypto, what's happening in the world of Bitcoin. We're hearing a lot coming from the exchanges. There's a lot of people who are having a lot of horror stories. If you're dealing with an exchange, go to Reddit, put your exchange into Reddit, go Google your exchange, go look at the other stories that people are having with the exchanges where you're buying and selling different cryptos. Or even Coinbase as well. There's a lot of issues happening with these centralized organizations. And while people may be enjoying the benefits of the cryptocurrencies, they are also leaning on the centralized aspects of the industry, and it's creating a lot of different trouble. We know that a lot of people are having problems with a lot of their accounts, not able to get accounts, not able to get support for their accounts, not able to get in. And what's happening is that some people are actually selling their trading accounts for thousands of dollars. They don't want to deal with it anymore, or they just want to sell it and make a buck. But it's definitely interesting to see how there's more and more problems stemming from these. And as people are recognizing more problems coming from the centralized aspects of their world, they will be turning to blockchain technology to decentralize that, to make it easier and more fair for everybody to use. It's not just the different exchanges, as we mentioned, it's also Coinbase. And Coinbase is getting threatened with legal action from the known figure in the community known as Whale Panda. And so what's happening is that there's just a lot of transactions that are missing. There's a lot of people that have a lot of questions, a lot of people that are super frustrated. Coinbase is not really answering people, not really getting back to people. I've had some poor experiences with Coinbase and customer support as well. It took weeks and weeks and weeks, and it all worked out for me. But there's a lot of people that are still going through these horror stories, losing money, losing Bitcoin, not getting answers. And this problem is prevalent. This problem has been increasing. It's just something to be aware of. It's something to know about. It's important to recognize that exchanges are a central choke point of potential failure in the system. And if and when the government gets into deeper regulation, the first point that they're going to go and they're going to regulate are going to be the exchanges. Exchanges will be the first ones to have to comply to the rules and the regulations from the governments and the regulators. And for all the people that have their money on the exchange, that are dependent on the exchange, who are thinking about going to Coinbase to get some Bitcoin for the first time, will be subject to the rules and regulations of these central authorities. And it's really risky. It's really scary. It's interesting to look at the past examples, what's happened with GDAX getting hacked, past examples in China, where China, shut down Bitcoin exchanges and people weren't able to get their Bitcoin in and out of the exchanges. They were only able to withdraw the fiat. And it's just a good reminder of what's possible in the world to come. Moving down this sort of thought, these are exchanges. Separately from exchanges, we have the banks. And in this article here from CoinDesk, we have TD Ameritrade, which is saying that Bitcoin is a great opportunity to get millennials trading. And so they're saying that people complain that we haven't gotten millennials to trade, and most people who are trading stocks are older people who have money, older people who are familiar with the stock market, and millennials nowadays just on average don't have a lot of faith in the stock market, don't have a lot of faith in the regulators and the banks. They don't have a lot of faith in the trust of the system, seeing what's happened to their parents and their grandparents generations before. Millennials are smart and paying attention, and millennials are quick up to speed, recognizing the failures of the traditional system, the failures of the new systems, but comparing and contrasting and recognizing the benefits of each and the risks of each. And where that all falls down to is that the risks of the fiat seem to be much greater than the risks of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, despite what the banks and the governments are telling people. And so we have TD Ameritrade, who is possibly looking at Bitcoin to increase their revenue, increase their volume, increase the number of people who are trading overall, let it be Bitcoin and stocks, but using Bitcoin as the financial gateway drug, so to speak, to get people inside the TD Ameritrade system. So as TD Ameritrade moves in this direction, it's probably in their best interest to get more money inside their platform, to get more users inside their platform, especially since Bitcoin isn't illegal yet. Bitcoin isn't being highly regulated yet, but it doesn't necessarily need to be, because there's so many of these central companies, these middleman companies, let it be the banks, the exchanges, that are really able to control and manipulate the industry with inside Bitcoin. Let it be the miners and the exchanges blocking SegWit, or let it be different companies pushing for rules and regulations that benefit them as opposed to the entire community. And as this comes up more, as more people, more mainstream people are learning about Bitcoin and comparing and contrasting these differences, then it's going to be more and more difficult for these companies to maintain their power, because it's, in our opinion, that the network effect is going to overtake, that the S-curve is going to overtake. And as more and more users are moving into this space, more and more users are going to realize the risks of the centralized middlemen and are going to be demanding decentralized systems, because they will be more fair, more inclusive, more accessible to everybody. As an example of that, previous to this article, we see the exchanges, and we see decentralized exchanges are becoming extremely popular. In this example here from our Bitcoin, we have BitPay, which is about to be replaced by the cyberpunk grassroots startup BTC Pay. And then this person is asking who or what is going to replace Coinbase next. And so will there be a new version of Coinbase, a competitor to Coinbase? Is BTC Pay going to succeed in its usage and its adoption among business owners? And will BTC Pay be able to upset BitPay, which has really taken a lot of decisions, a lot of actions that are not in the best interests of the overall Bitcoin community, activating SegWit for lower transaction fees, moving forward with Lightning Network to create more fluidity with inside the entire ecosystem. And a lot of people are just really upset with BitPay because of the centralized aspects of their decision making. And this is why BTC Pay is now existing. We've seen this trend with the exchanges. We're seeing it now with businesses. We expect to see it in the future with some of these, financial institutions and like Coinbase and even some banks. Maybe we start to see it with SALT and SALT lending even. But it's going to be really interesting to see how this progresses moving forward. Also, a lot of people have been talking about Lightning Network. You have the SegWit, you have Bitcoin, you have SegWit, you have Lightning Network, and this has been talked about for a long time. This has been worked on for a long time. This has been delayed for a long time because of the politics involved, because of the, the fear, the uncertainty, the doubt, the division in the community, which is a red flag for nothing good. And so anything that's divisive, I'm really skeptical about, and anything that brings people together is something that I think is really very interesting. But with that, Jameson Lopp is over here tweeting from a recent conversation that he had with someone who is building the Lightning Network, that this nearly instant atomic swaps via the Lightning Network, these are coming sooner than anyone thinks. Definitely not a year away, but mere months. So he's saying in mere months, we are going to have Lightning Network. We're going to have atomic swaps working on the Lightning Network. We already have Lightning Network right now, but it'll be more developed. Atomic swaps will be working. And this will allow you to, transfer Bitcoin and Litecoin, let's say, without needing an exchange. This is exactly what we're talking about. This is the progression of the future. This is where the future is going, in our opinion, toward open source, toward blockchain, toward decentralization, toward peer-to-peer. And we are just seeing it more and more and more. It was just scratching the surface with the decentralized exchanges, and it's just going full throttle into 2018. This is going to be a big year for creating more decentralization and creating more opportunity for more people, not centralizing that growth, not centralizing that opportunity for just a few. Also, according to the crypto whaler over on Twitter, the crypto whaler is just putting it out there that the only reason that exchanges don't use segregated witness is because it'll make the Bitcoin dominant. And if the Bitcoin is dominant, then there's going to be fewer people who are going to theoretically want alternative cryptocurrencies. And so if Bitcoin is dominant, it's going to decrease the business in altcoins, and it's going to take away a lot of revenue for the exchanges. So according to Bitwhaler, the exchanges don't want segregated witness or Lightning Network or atomic swaps because it's going to directly not only reduce their business, but actually take business away when you're looking at the atomic swap situation and people not even needing these exchanges anymore. And they'll also be paying lower fees. This is the direction that we see the world going: decentralized, open source, peer-to-peer, not continuing the way things have been going for the past few thousand years. I'm sure a lot of people saw this. Mark Zuckerberg in the news. This is something we shared on Facebook and Twitter. Mark Zuckerberg and a lot of people see themselves have gotten into technology to make the world more decentralized, to build on top of the open peer-to-peer internet technology, and to create a world that is more free and more equal for everybody. And this has been progressively not the case. The internet has become, in a lot of ways, more centralized. Net neutrality creates an unequal playing field through the gatekeepers, which are the ISPs. And not only that, but the companies of the internet have been consolidating, buying up the smaller companies, and there's fewer and fewer, larger and larger companies on the internet, which we know have direct relationships with governments, controlling the information that we see, blocking things, removing things, adding things, which is just marketing and public relations manipulation of the human mind. And so people have been having a huge problem with this. Mark Zuckerberg is reflecting on this, recognizing this, and then recognizes that the philosophies inside the blockchain technology, the cryptocurrency, are very similar as they were, as we draw analogies consistently with the internet and the original internet, the public internet, the open, decentralized internet. And so Mark Zuckerberg is looking at current trends like encryption and cryptocurrency, which are taking power away from centralized systems and putting it back into the people's hands. And so he just goes on to say that this comes with risks because they're a lot more difficult to control. But he's interested in going deeper and studying both the positive and negative aspects of these technologies and how to best use them in the Facebook services. And so this is a serious self-improvement, looking forward to learning together, fixing issues together is what he's saying. And this is just really interesting to see Kik do their ICO, to see Overstock moving deeper into their ICO, and then to hear Mark Zuckerberg say, hey, we're going to be getting into this cryptocurrency game as well. Facebook being a very large website, large platform, can have a lot of power and influence, just as a lot of these other companies will. But again, fast forwarding into the future, it depends how Facebook uses and implements this technology, and if their implementation of cryptocurrency will truly be decentralized in terms of the technology, if it's going to be truly decentralized in terms of the distribution, and if it's going to be truly decentralized in terms of the people in the process and the infrastructure that is controlling whatever and however Facebook determines to use cryptocurrency in their services moving forward. They may integrate it as a part of the website. They may simply accept it as part of the digital payments, which every business leader recognizes is very important for the future. Digital payments has been critical for the past 10 years and continues to be so with or without Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So speaking about Facebook, one of Facebook's original investors, Peter Thiel, his investment fund holds hundreds of millions of dollars in Bitcoin. And it was a huge risk. It was a huge gamble. Peter Thiel, who is invested in several different companies, including LinkedIn, Airbnb, Facebook, has just been diving in full throttle. Thiel said if Bitcoin ends up being the cyber equivalent of gold, that Bitcoin has great potential. What's really interesting about this Peter Thiel piece of news is that his company purchased all this Bitcoin months and months and months ago. And we didn't hear about this until now. And this is just something that's reoccurring throughout all of history and is super reoccurring right now, where the powers that be, wealthy individuals, corporations, different companies, they're getting their positions of Bitcoin, right? Jamie Dimon said Bitcoin is a scam, Bitcoin is a fraud. His company immediately purchases Bitcoin. His daughter immediately purchased Bitcoin. And now we're hearing Jamie Dimon saying, you know, Bitcoin's not a fraud. Mark Cuban saying Bitcoin cryptocurrency is a Ponzi scheme. He purchases his position, then it comes out in the news. Mark Cuban says, hey, Bitcoin, there's actually, this is something worth considering after he got his position. Over and over again, you know, in this case, people are purchasing their positions while they're saying it's a fraud or saying nothing at all. And after they have their positions, then they tell everyone else to come in and purchase because it's just going to bolster their already awesome price. And they have, you know, a voice, they have marketing, they can get that sort of word out there because people are looking to them as respected, successful leaders in the space. Other people as well, Chamath Palihapitiya, who is also a huge proponent of Bitcoin, just recognizing it's a huge store of value, a huge potential, recommending to people to consider putting 1% of their net worth into Bitcoin, recognizing that Bitcoin has already shown huge promise, and the people who are skeptical, Bitcoin is a hedge that if there was by some chance total catastrophic financial meltdown of the financial system, the 1% that people put into Bitcoin could be the 1% that actually saves them. And so that's Chamath's argument, that's Chamath's position, and he's getting it out there consistently for years and years and years and continues to do so on CNBC. Eric Schmidt, the CEO of Google, is just remarking on Bitcoin. His quote, Bitcoin is a remarkable cryptographic achievement and the ability to create something that is not duplicatable in the digital world has enormous value. And so this is Eric Schmidt saying good things about Bitcoin, recognizing the value of Bitcoin. I'm sure also recognizing the differences between Bitcoin and blockchain technology. And so if the CEO of Google is looking into this different types of encryption and cryptographic tokens, cryptocurrencies, then we can be sure to know that Google is working on integration of these services, investments into these services, and Google, just another one of these very large corporations that are moving into this space full throttle. The CEO of Overstock continuing to say very good things about Bitcoin. People are able to buy things on Overstock with Bitcoin. You're not able to use Bitcoin or cryptocurrency on Amazon, but you can use Bitcoin and cryptocurrency on Overstock. And Overstock just continuing to push this forward. Overstock may be getting into their own ICO. And Overstock also sort of getting huge amounts of money, $100 million from the George Soros Fund for blockchain and more. There's a quote here: by having the retail businesses involved, that we can really create is the wormhole between the two universes, the universe of the conventional and the universe of crypto. And as these universes come together, that is when we will start getting into early adopters, because we are not even at the early adopter phase. The early adopter phase is about 12% of usage into the network, and we are at less than 1%, less than 1%. It's crazy what's happening. It's crazy what's going on. And these are just very, very exciting times with huge amounts of promise, huge amounts of opportunity. And you might be starting to see that because you're here, you're checking this out, you're watching this video, you're picking up this news, you're learning things for yourself, you're validating the things that I'm sharing with you and coming to your own conclusions. And you're probably seeing what I'm seeing, you're probably seeing what all of these business leaders are seeing, that there is something very exciting here, that not only is this technology growing, but the layers of infrastructure inside and around this technology are also growing. And 2018 is going to be extremely exciting on every single level. Thank you for watching this content and learning about this information with me. Don't forget to tap that like button and subscribe. It encourages us so much and it helps other people find this content. Also, if you're interested in behind-the-scenes access, special rewards, and a direct connection with me and our crypto community, then become our patron at patreon.com/mintingcoins or via our website at mintingcoins.com/join. We look forward to connecting with you because together, we are minting coins.